I've gone through the whole spectrum of things, and I've seen what a lie it is. Women, you gain absolutely nothing by having casual sex. Zero. Nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
All you do is waste your energy. And women used to know this all the time. They were the prize. So men would jump through freaking hoops to get with them. And what that would mean is they would provide a value.
Yeah.
Now you've given, you think they care that you banged them and left and didn't care? They're like, thank God.
I think that's the biggest
So
side.
it's like sex is like so easy for guys
Yeah.
if you're doing successful. So it's like a lot of times guys like it's causing a lot of problems for the guys too.
Lots
They're
of
not- they're not-
problems.
They're not having kids young. They're just thinking, oh, I can have 5, 6.
Yeah, I feel
girlfriends.
like young women need to be told that, you know, sexual attention is not relationship attention.
And it doesn't mean anything.
No.
It's nothing. You know, I've been getting sexually harassed since I was 8 years old.
Yeah, I think it's
By
more,
Jews, probably, by the sounds of it, you know?
I think women have, it's a lot more hurtful to them too when they're having like casual sex.
It's
more
very
than men.
damaging. It's
Yeah.
very damaging. And, you know, like I'm no saint, you
Yeah.
know. I was married when very young. I got married very young. And then after that, because, you know, the guy ended up being totally manipulative. I didn't know anything. Like that was my first anything. I was 25.
Yeah.
First anything. So you know nothing. So it'd be in this sort of toxic relationship, and it was my first relationship. So I was like, is this normal? I don't know if this is normal. I didn't know if it was normal. It turns out it wasn't. So after that, you know, I was like listening to the feminists or whatever and doing some
all
casual
been there.
dating.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd wake up with this intense shame and guilt, like I had done something wrong and something awful and felt this emptiness. And of course, I talked to my coven witch fucking liberal women, and they'd be like, it's internalized misogyny and blah, 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 blah. And now I realize, no. That was my internal moral guidance system saying, hey, you don't want to be doing this. And you didn't get anything from this. And it didn't take long. You know, it wasn't like I was like whoring it up, you know?
Yeah, no, even as a man, I think we were like, you know, we're encouraged. Your friends are like, do this, or you're sleeping around, and you're like, it doesn't hurt us near as bad. But there's like times for a man, like the second we finish, you'll know. And sometimes you just get that feeling of just absolute disgust, and that's when you realize, like, okay, you should be a little more selective what you're doing. If you
Yep.
feel disgusted as soon as you're done, that's like,
Well,
you shouldn't be doing it.
I agree with you, and this is something I say. It's like it's not just because there is a nature that I believe God has put in us that is for the benefit of both. Like, you know, when a woman calls you to a higher standard, suddenly you find something in yourself that you didn't even know was there. And it gives you a value. All of a sudden you start, you know, everything else is dehumanizing. And here's the deal that people don't understand, like men, same thing with men that are just having this casual sex and they're treating these women like objects. And the moment you're doing that to her, you're doing it to yourself too. And then you break your ability to connect, see a human. And this is my big thing with porn. And this is why it's so tragic for this young generation. Like, you know, sexual interaction and all that, the genuine part of it comes from a deep and abiding love for the person that you're with. And when it comes from there, it's a completely different experience than this, you know, lust-driven porn thing.
Yeah.
And the beauty in that is so beyond what you're getting there. Now, if your first exposure to sex is porn and casualness, you think that's what it is always. And you have no idea that you're even missing anything. You don't have any clue that that's even a possibility. And then it's sad.
Yeah, and I didn't grow up with porn, but now the young generation has access to it and on their phones, just endless amounts. I'm so thankful I didn't have that when I was young. I couldn't imagine just, you know, constant.
But that's a good point. I mean, it literally blocks them from that possibility of experiencing that reality even. Like, it literally blocks them.
They don't even know it exists.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
sad and tragic is that?
Porn is just evil.
I agree. That's why I don't think they twisted the law to say free speech covers porn. No, it doesn't. It does not. And it 100% should be illegal. It is damaging.
It should at least be really hard to access. It could fully pull from the internet because these kids can get it. Before, if you're watching porn, you had to go to like a shady area.
Yeah.
You had to get a magazine
Yeah,
for your older brother.
Jerk-off theater.
Yeah, jerk-off theater. So you knew you were being a slime ball. If you were in one of those places, you would look at yourself and be like, oh my God, what the hell is wrong with me? You're a weirdo creep. Or theater's jerking off. Obviously something's wrong with you. But now guys can just do it at home. And young kids, you know, I read somewhere like the average age kids start watching was like 11.
I know.
Well, I mean, look,
I looked it up.
Like, this is a crazy fact, but like, for example, and I know there's right now controversy about E. Michael Jones, but he wrote this book called Libido Dominandi, and he was talking about how, you know, what's going on in Gaza with this evilness. The IDF was flying helicopters over
dropping porn.
and dropping just crates of pornography. And why would you do this? Because they're already predicting that's going to be a generational war. So they're trying to already have the men neutered and weak.
Yeah,
Years
that
ago,
makes
they-
that's
that's
amazing.
They forced their
Crazy,
TV on pornography too in the West Bank. They made it so